Hello, I'd like to go through the basic system, the standard Washout Watchdog system. It's not really the standard, but it's one that came from the beginning. We started in 2003 with a different tank, a different bucket, and over the years we've improved that greatly. And I want to go through that today with some of the stuff that we've got. But what you see here is what comes for our basic standard system. You need a bucket that hangs from the chute and collects the water and the sand when you wash it down. You need a rack that's attached to the truck that the bucket goes in. And then you need a tank to transfer the water from the bucket to the tank. And as long as the bucket's higher than the tank, gravity works. And so we have a hose that connects between the bucket and the tank. And you wouldn't believe this, but sometimes people connect it to the bottom, but it actually connects to the top, and the water flows in through the top. We empty it back at the plant with the valve. But this hose connects here to the valve on the bucket, and when you're ready to drain it, you lift your chute up, open your valve. So most of you are familiar how it works. But I kind of wanted to go through just the basics of the standard system and what's changed. One of the greatest things that's changed is I am now in charge of all of my production. So I make my own tanks and buckets. I bought my own rotational molding machine, and that allows me to control the quantity of it and the quality of it. So I was finding that a lot of my buckets were not as thick as I'd like. So now we've got a really good quality control on it. The bucket is always the same now. I like that. My tanks are also made by me. You notice that on this side I have some inserts on this, so we'll go through that a little bit later. But this is the standard system, and this mounts to the rail of the truck. And I have a number of different tanks and mountings, but this is 3/16 steel. You simply drill holes in it and mount it to the truck. This happens to be what we call a bumper rack, and very, very common if you've got pushers and no room. A lot of our fleets are using these. So it goes on the bumper between the fender and the DOT bar, and the bucket just slides right in there. One of the improvements that we've made on our bucket rack, and what I like a lot, is these handles now move back and forth so that when it's in, it's not coming out. But when you move the handle back, the driver can simply lay the bucket in the rack, empty it out, and wash it out without having to pick it up and dump it. And so if you backed up to your pit, that makes it very simple. So it just sits in here. We have a strap to make sure it's secure. But whether or not we're using our pull pin or a strap, this fold back rack has made a huge difference on that. Going back to the bucket, one of the greatest improvements we've made in the last 2 years is the handles were good. We were making them out of regular steel and then plating them. And we decided to go with stainless steel so we wouldn't have to plate, and the stainless steel is much stronger. So it's not going to bend, it's not going to rust, it's just going to last a lot longer. Not that we were having a problem with the hook, we decided to improve that. As you know, there's a stainless steel screen on the inside that keeps the aggregate inside and allows the water to flow through. So this is a standard bucket. I think we have 6 or 7 different buckets now that we've developed over the last few years. And so we're going to go through just the buckets and how they could work for you. But this is our standard bucket that works for most of the trucks. This is our standard tank. It holds up to 30 gallons of water. Very easy. We've got now a cable instead of a lanyard made out of rubber. And so our lids are staying on much better. All of our tanks are very simple to maintain, and we have a strap that has 4 bolts. So if you ever have to take it off, it's very simple to take off. It's just 4 bolts, comes off. If you have concrete built up on the inside, you simply turn it over and pound it, it comes right out. Same thing with the bucket. If they forget and leave it over the weekend, this screen detaches, you can take it out. You're not going to lose the bucket because it's full of concrete. This plastic concrete doesn't stick to it, and that's one of the big things. It's lightweight. We have handles to make it convenient, and there's a handle on the bottom basically so the driver can pick it up that way as well. Carry it very close to the body when they're putting it in and out of the rack, and we always recommend that this is a nice height so that it's easy for the driver to get in. So that's our standard system. We wanted to make sure that everything was easy to repair, like a 5-minute repair and low dollars instead of expensive. So the only moving parts we really have are these, and that's stainless steel, so we're not having a lot of problems with that. We have a gasket inside that can be replaced. This valve is the greatest moving part on our unit for either side, and you can buy a handle, a stem, or a ball and repair it. We've put greaserts that some people like and some people don't use on the valves, so they're lasting a lot longer than we started with, right? And these are Banjo products, so they're very, very good. The last thing I want to show you that we've improved, and on the inlet we have two different kinds, so it depends on what kind of configuration you have, and I have over 100 configurations with all the tanks and buckets, so we can fit your truck. This is the inlet here, or you can put a 90 on top. Obviously you get more volume if you go on top. And this one is a sideways tank, so you would need that. I'm going to turn the tank to show you our improvement here, which I'm very proud of. And again, almost all of the improvements that I have, like this hose, is see-through. We started with an opaque hose, and now we've got a see-through pool hose. This new stainless steel handle on our yellow plug, this is a moving part, and so there was an exposed thread that was getting concrete in it, and by covering it now with this, and you can keep these if you ever have to replace it, it will keep that thread clean. And so that's our big improvement. Again, our standard Washout Watchdog system comes with a tank and something to mount it with, comes with a bucket bracket and a bucket, and that's our full system.